Good evening, friends. You'd be just uh, surprised to ask, sir, what is this evening session going to be dedicated to? This evening session is going to be dedicated to class 10. A very important question that is related to the making of a scientist. That the question is that curiosity and will to win for the right reason can make one person successful. So, this question generally comes in long type question answers, and this is directly related to the lesson making of a scientist. But before going to that questions, let us know little bit the content of the lesson. You may ask, sir, making of a scientist is all about our curiosity and willpower to win for the right reason. Definitely, and that is being proved in the lesson Making of a Scientist by Robert W. Peterson. Actually, a great scientist, Richard E. Bright, right from his childhood, he was having a wonderful curiosity of collecting things such as coins, rocks, fossils, and butterflies. Actually, his childhood curiosity led him to become such a great scientist. The Making of a Scientist is the incredible story of Richard E. Bright, a person who rose to the height of a great scientist and did a wonderful thing in the field of science. He was the only child of his parents who had great curiosity and interest and fascination for butterflies right from his key days. He started collecting fossils, rocks, coins, and butterflies even when he was a child. Guided by Dr. Urgu Hart, he started tagging butterflies. But when he didn't win any prize at the science exhibition, he was disheartened, but he never gave up. He went on experimenting. After one experiment, another experiment, and it was his mother who really inspired him. She bought a book, the Travel Monarch 10, the Travel Monarch of Monarch 10. That was the book brought by his mother, and that really proved to be a stepping stone in his success. We cannot deny that our parents are our inspiring force. Richard's mother was a vigilant person. She keenly observed his interest right in his childhood days. She went on encouraging him and identifying his interest and inclination. When she came to know that Richard had greater interest in collecting things and experimenting ideas, she guided him. She very deftly kept him occupied with the learning activities and gave him tasks. She channelized his energy in the right direction and kept on monitoring on his achievements. It was her consecutive and vigilant approach that kept Ebright experimenting on his projects, and that eventually led to his great success. Had he really not been inspired by his mother, who really took him to a trip. In that trip, she, not only talked about keeping his interest alive, but she also brought a book, certain equipments like microscope, telescope, cameras, and mounting materials. All these equipments were bought by his mother, and this really helped him go for experiments after experiments. Even when he didn't win a prize, he never lost heart. He kept on experimenting, and the result was that he was able to discover the fact that cells were very significant because cells could divide, I mean, the butterfly, and can make, her scale wings alive. And that DNA blueprint that he discovered really proved to be a turning point in the history of the discovery of butterflies, particularly the monarch butterflies. It was his experiment that really led to the discovery, that was that DNA blueprint was the greater discovery for him. The print of DNA is a blueprint for life. Other than science, Bright was also interested, and he was a very keen debater, a very successful debater, as well as an expert photographer. So you see how curiosity and willpower, had he not been curious from his early childhood about discovering fossils, rocks, and butterflies, he would never have become such a great scientist. So it is the duty of the parents to be vigilant towards their children's activities. If every parent must be vigilant, observant, and keep on tracking the interest of the children. Once they understand the children's interest, they can direct their energy into the right way, and they can turn them into a very productive pursuit. And that is what is required for every child. Child is not in himself, poor or intelligent. It is the monitoring of the parents and the teacher. It is the curiosity in the interest of the child that is coupled by the encouragement and inspiration and the vigilance of the parent, that together make someone a great person. So making of a scientist proves that if a child has a curiosity and will to go for winning for the right reason, nobody can stop him from doing so. And that is true for every child. So as a parent, we should always try to be vigilant and monitor and encourage the child. See what happens. Parents just think that let the child read the text. See, reading the text will not make him a different person. Give him the books, exploring ideas other than the text. Let him search his interest, what kind of things he is interested in. He may be interested in nature. He may be interested in other aspects of life. Let him discover his interest and curiosity, and accordingly provide him the material and equipments that will guide him to go further in this field. Then only you can tap out his real talents, and that is the responsibility of the teacher and the parents to do so. So I expect that making of a scientist will prove to be a turning point for every parent, to know that the scientific temperament of the child is a hidden talent. It has to be extracted, it has to be tapped out either by the parent or by the teachers, by their vigilance monitoring and by their consciousness about the interest of the child. It is equally important that the school should make an observation about the children's interest and guide them and direct them to the right way, so that they could turn out to be productive citizens and contribute their knowledge and skill to the development of the world. Thank you very much. I'm sure the idea of making of a scientist will help many children of class 10 and onwards to understand the concept of exploring, experimenting, and winning for a right cause. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.